I mean, that right there is real.
It's just me. It's just in me.
My dog was bigger than him.
Dang. Why you brush my face? Let's see if you want 3 for 3. What's happening, and welcome, Be Intentional family, to Ask the Ma'ats. Today we're doing things a little bit differently. You don't see us, but you hear us.
Yes, sir.
This is my wonderful husband that you hear, Ayize Ma'at.
This is my incredible wife, Fiona Ma'at.
Yes, yes. And so today we wanted to focus on an article that we are publishing today on the site from one of our contributing writers, Cynthia M. Dismuke. She is a very profound and thought-provoking woman who has written for us before. She wrote an article titled
Time Out for Foolishness, Life Can Change in an Instant.
Time Out for the Foolishness, Life Can Change in an Instant. So you can click on that link down below to her other article as well. This one today is titled, How Do You Make Your Man Feel? We are focusing on women and how is it that you make your man feel.
Yeah, one of the things that we do in the classes that we teach is we ask the men, if you could pick a song that really reflects how you want your wife to treat you, what would that song be? And I know personally, the song that pops up in my head is that song by Beyonce, Let Me Cater to You.
Let me cater to you.
That piece right there, I mean, the way she's just singing it and the things that she says in that song, it really epitomizes the feeling that men want to feel and what they want their women to do for them in the relationship. So, you know, this article right here talks about some of those things, and we're going to be reading the article and then pausing and sharing some of our thoughts and commentary as we go through it. So how do you make your man feel? All right, we get so caught up into what we want that we often do not stop and consider what our husband wants. We can be so out of touch with how he feels, or most importantly, how do you make him feel? Most men won't say a word to you, but he will express how he feels to his friends or another woman.
Is that true?
That's absolutely true. You know, when we hit the bar, when we hit the basketball game, when we, you know, hit whatever we hit, you know, we're in a space that we're comfortable, and we're oftentimes, you know, just sharing, you know, our true and authentic feelings with our boys, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, when we do that, sometimes, you know, we might love our spouse, but, you know, in certain moments we don't like them. So it's just that real feeling, that real expression that we give when we're in our most comfortable place. And you want your man to be very comfortable with you.
Now, I think it's interesting that she talks about the fact that he will communicate with his friends or at the bar with another woman, but that silence is what happens at home.
Yeah.
And you probably are wondering, women out there, so why is he not talking to me? But if the home front is not a place where wifey is approachable, if it's not friendly up in there, if there's hostility and tension, for women, a lot of times we're used to kind of dealing with that, being upset, you know, dealing with it. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's get it out. For men, they just don't want to deal with all that. So I think it's important for us as women to take responsibility for the climate that we set in our home and between ourselves and our mates.
Yeah, one thing that Cynthia said, she says, one time I was just complaining and complaining to my husband until he said to me, Cynthia, how long are you going to beat that dead horse? I heard you every time you said it. And that right there is real talk, you know, because we men, you know, we hear what you're saying, but, you know, the reality is that we don't need to hear you say it 1,001 times. One time is enough, maybe 2 or 3 times, but 1,000 times? Come on now.
Right, right. And she talks about the fact that there are a lot of people out there who are willing to tell your man how wonderful he is, how he's doing such a great job, how inspiring he is, you know, that kind of thing. And I like to use this analogy a lot of times. I tell women, don't we realize that when we give our sons or our children praise because we know that they need it for their development, that we have to do the same thing for our husband. That if our children are working our nerves, doing bad at school, ain't getting nothing right, ain't doing their chores, we will let them know, but we also make sure that we are not just ragging on them, just dogging them down to the ground, that we try to find a way to still let them know you are worth something. You are important. And I'm telling you this because I love you. So you got to do the same thing. If we can do that for children, and our men are not our children, why can't we give that same love
Yeah, Cynthia says that when you show sincere gratitude and appreciation for something that he does, he will do it again, again, and again, which is true.
Is that true?
You know, if you want a certain type of behavior to
Yeah.
be done, you need to reinforce it with affirmation, with positive compliments, and that type of thing. You know, men, she says that men are not difficult to figure out. We just don't like the truth when we hear it, or we make too many assumptions. They love their egos being stroked, and let's not forget, lots of good, hot sex. We do like sex. They are just wired that way. Men want you to be flirtatious, engaging, affectionate, and kind of, I don't know what, I just missed that right there.
Okay, well, I think that's true. I used to have a problem with that. You know, I used to say, gosh, my husband just seemed like he just want to get in my drawers all the time. You know, I just didn't understand. I said, is everything about doing it? Y'all know we keep it real here.
Yeah.
But I realized that men... Doing it well, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Men, they express their love through sex a lot of times, through the physical intimacy. And women, we express our love through conversation, through intellectual and emotional intimacy. And that will get us turned on and ready for sex. So there's differences in how we operate. And we need to stop judging. And we need to give our mates what they need and recognize that men's needs are different than women's needs.
Yeah, one thing she also says is that she was the queen of cutting the man off in mid-sentence before, and she even knew better. That right there is a problem. You know, that's a big problem because, you know, a man, he has a mind, he has a voice, and he wants that to be heard. He wants to be respected. You know, you can't just assume that you know what he's talking about because you haven't heard him speak. So give him an opportunity to voice his opinion, and I think that way, you know, you all will be in a better place to build, you know, some type of foundation for some healthy communication.
I think this is important too. Cynthia so wonderfully talks about being overly critical. And, you know, are you criticizing him? Are you, basically making him feel as if he does not count? And here's what I found. When we are overly critical of other people, whether it's your man or whoever, it's because we are really very, very critical of ourselves. So the best way for you to stop being so hard on your man is to stop being so hard on yourself. The best way for you to stop criticizing them so much is to stop criticizing yourself so much and to really start to learn how to accept yourself and allow yourself to grow. And when you can do that with yourself, it's easier for you to do it with other people.
She also says that, you know, somebody has to take the first step. Somebody has to make the first move.
Say that again.
Somebody has to make the first move.
Say it one more time.
Somebody got to make the first move.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're finding yourself in a space where you just don't feel like, you know, complimenting him or giving him a pat on the back, you know, and you want him to give you a pat on the back, give you a massage, give you a back rub, you know, you might need to be the one that makes the first move. If you want whatever behavior it is that you want in your relationship, demonstrate that behavior, and more often it will be reflected back to you.
So everything in you right now that is resisting the message that Cynthia is giving today through BlackLoveAndMarriage.com, everything that is in you that is saying, I'm not feeling what y'all are saying right now because he can this and he can that, guess what? You are doing exactly what it is we are talking about. You are not making your man feel that powerful. If you can speak to someone's needs, they can give you more of what you need. So, you know what? You're going to have to grow up. You're going to have to move. You're going to have to take the first step. You're going to have to make your man feel good. Know why? Because if you're listening today, it ain't by accident. Go on, y'all. Stop playing.
And start pushing.